I don't know. I feel like it's just normal whenever there's fandom in like
Hmm.
a sport or whatever, because it is true. I haven't won anything since I was in EU, and I haven't won anything in NA, and that's obviously something I'm chasing. That's like a personal like goal of mine, regardless of like whatever anyone else thinks. It's like doesn't
Yeah.
really matter. I think I'm actually just fortunate enough that people like care and still talk about me this much, even though nothing super good has really happened for me.
Hmm.
While I've been in a, as in like I haven't been able to win, is what I'm meant to say.
Yeah. 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 Zento here from Esports Heaven, and I have here with me Froggen doing remote interviews from Dignitas. Now, let's talk about that ending game against Immortals. The ending was very hectic, but just the late game phase of the entire game was pretty shocking. But let's go back to that fight for the second Elder, where kind of Xmithy jumps over the wall trying to steal, and Huni ults him, and then finally the base race. Like, what? Just run me through your thoughts about the ending of that game.
Um, so I think for the Elder Dragon fight, we realized that Mordekaiser can ultimate their jungler since he didn't build QSS, and we can just
Mm-hmm.
take free objective if we just hit it. Um, and then we can like force them to come fight us. But we had a really hard time with our engages. So how it played out was kind of just we ended up getting Elder Dragon, and then they tried running away, and we got a pick on like Painfin died, and I don't remember. There was somebody else that died too.
It's very
I think
hectic
Tam
for sure.
Kent, and then Israel and Syndra is trying to backdoor, and we're kind of aware of that. So I base. They're trying to like make me safe from basing, and then Johnson is just gonna go down mid and says he doesn't really need anyone, only Afro, and then the rest of us just gonna base and try to hold, and we can just end the game that way.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually like it wasn't as hectic as the rest of the game from our comms actually. So
Okay, that's good to know. And so in the beginning of the game, I mean, Huni had an incredibly tough time top. I know that fans are probably wondering, why the Mordekaiser pick into Ornn. And I remember you guys picked Mordekaiser against IMT in the very beginning of the split, which Huni completely smashed Soaz. So that's one reason that I can think of. And some would also say that since Aatrox was up, you could have picked that into the Ornn as well too. So you just run me a little bit through the draft and kind of your thought process, or the team's thought process, I guess, for the Mordekaiser pick.
I think he just likes the matchup, and we consider it to be pretty good. Then
Mm-hmm.
obviously one ended up getting a lead, and then it's kind of hard to play out after that. But as you mentioned, I mean, he played it in the first game versus IMT, and it went very well. Um, so we figured we should just do it again. It's pretty good. And it's a possible flex pick too if one decides to go mid, even though we are kind of aware they only really ever play it top. So we find just picking it, and it's fine. And there's other options too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it just kind of like this might have like been better for like damage spread, and later on in the draft, but we don't have to worry about like AP or AD damage, and it just kind of opens up to pick like whatever we want to pick in like the 4 and 5.
So the first like 20 minutes of the game, basically nothing happened besides kind of trading objectives, or at least I go with that through like the fans lens of nothing happening, meaning no kills.
Mm-hmm.
uh, so what made your team so comfortable stalling the game out and avoiding team fights, even though theoretically you would think that Ornn scales very well into the late game?
I think it's not even that we didn't try to make anything happen. Early on in the game, they have Pantheon and Syndra, so we would expect that they're able to like get some kind of pressure from that. But he
Mm-hmm.
actually just didn't try to keep push versus me in mid. So the only thing that ended up happening was that he stayed one wave too long, and we got a free dragon from it. And then after that, how we thought about it is like Mort is just going to get prio against Orn,
Mm.
and Phyllis is going to get prio against Ezreal. Once Ori gets some levels, she can start like contesting prio versus Syndra as well. So Olaf can just like do his thing early game, and he should be able to like get a lead on Pantheon. Um, and then it's like pretty just comfortable in the early game as long as Pantheon Syndra didn't do anything. But we messed up a lot of our rotations and just
Mm-hmm.
how we're supposed to play out the game, and it was just like really really bad gameplay from us that led to like them getting Rift Herald and us not being able to like capitalize on any of the advantages we were able to get if we played properly.
So I don't want you guys to reveal all your cards within this interview because you still have a game to play tomorrow. So we'll go towards kind of the narrative aspect, especially for this entire split. It has kind of been okay. Froggen has a good team now, and we'll see like the old Alliance Froggen come back. What are your thoughts on chasing former glory or like form? Do you feel like you're like chasing a Mario Kart ghost or something that has the best lap record that was once Alliance Froggen? Like, what are your thoughts on this narrative?
um Honestly, I don't really think about it too much. It's obviously something I'm aware of, like it exists and stuff, but I don't really see it too often other than when I stream. Um, I don't know. I feel like it's just normal whenever there's fandom in like
Mm-hmm.
a sport or whatever, because it is true. I haven't won anything since I was in EU, and I haven't won anything in NA, and that's obviously something I'm chasing. That's like a personal like goal of mine, regardless of like whatever anyone else thinks. It's like doesn't
Yeah.
really matter. I think I'm actually just fortunate enough that people like care and still talk about me this much, even though nothing super good has really happened for me.
Mm-hmm.
While I've been in a as in like I haven't been able to win is what I'm meant to say.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like it's cool, and I think I don't know, people just like to talk about it, I guess, and I think I'm pretty happy about that actually.
Yeah. It's a good. It's a
But
good
but
movie
as for
plot
chasing
line.
stuff, I mean, I have no idea. Every year, all try to do is better myself and try to be better in whatever aspect, like in the game, outside of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, that's all I can really do. If it's enough or not enough, I mean, I don't know. But all that really matters to me is that I'm gonna try my best.
So finally, you've kept several teams' hopes alive by winning this one. So
Yeah.
like, how does that feel? Knowing that a ton of pros are rooting for you to win.
Um, I didn't actually think about it before the game ended. And then
Uh-huh.
after the game, when I open up Twitter and everybody is like talking about it, I'm like, oh shit, that's right, man. So many people have a stake in this game, huh? That's funny. Um, I mean, I don't know. I really didn't think about it, but obviously it's always more fun when there's more eyes on you, you know?
Yeah. Well, a lot of teams are singing your praise. So, thank you, Froggen, for keeping the LCS entertaining. That was a really entertaining game. And yeah, thank you very much for the interview. This has been Azento from Esports Heaven and Froggen from Dignitas. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for the interview.